And each day, the Lord just brought me stronger and stronger. I could tell I was doing better. Well, it got to the point that I could walk through the house with the walker. And I'm telling you folks, that was like getting out of prison. I was getting out of that bed and being able to do some things for myself. And so I could walk with a walker through the house. Well, then I would walk, maybe I had a trail through the house on that walker, and I'd walk all I could stand to walk, and then I'd have to sit down or get back in the bed. Then I started putting the walker maybe 2 steps ahead of me before I could reach it, and trying to take a couple of steps without the walker. And the Lord just blessed me continuously. I could do that, and then I'd put it a little further ahead. Then I thought, well, I'm going to try to walk from my bed to the bathroom without a walker. And I did. But it wasn't me, it was the Lord doing that for me and through me. And I'm telling you, if you don't believe in miracles, I hope you do when I get through telling what he's done for me, because I was so close to death that I'm not sure if I told you this earlier or not, but the hospice person, the lead one, he just said he's got about 2 days to live. Well, see, I started praying then instead of asking the Lord to take me on if it was his will to help me get up. And I was able to walk, and I started being able to do things for myself, and that was a tremendous help to my wife and family. And then I was just making great progress until sometime in May of this year. And I got up one morning and to do my normal things, and I could barely stand and was real unsteady on my feet. Well, I knew the hospice nurse was coming that morning. So when he came, he asked me how I was feeling, and I told him, and he said, well, let's check your blood sugar. And he did, and the first reading he got was 600 plus on the meter. So he waited 15 minutes, and he did it again. He did that 4 times, and each time it would say 600 plus. And he said, you have got to start insulin today. So they ordered up the necessary things for me to start on insulin that day, and I started taking those shots that night. And this morning when I tested my blood sugar before I came over here, it was 105. So with the help of the Lord, I'm getting that under control. And I'm telling you, the only reason I'm here is God blessed me, and he's still doing it. And if you don't believe in miracles, ask him for one, and he will do that for you as well as he did for me. And that's basically what I had to tell Johnny. Anthony, I just wanted to tell people what God has done for me and what he'll do for anyone that will believe in him and ask him to do it.
Is it all right if we talk a little more? I'm going to ask you a few questions. Do you mind telling how old you are today?
I'm 83. I was 83 in May of this year.
And I want to talk just a little more about the coma.
Okay.
When you were in the coma, the hospice had already said, told your family you had 2 to 3 days at maximum. Call family and get everybody prepared for your passing. And this whole time, you told me, we were sitting there about how you were praying while you're in this coma. But they can't understand what you're saying.
Right.
But you knew you were praying.
I knew I was praying, Anthony. And see, I did say, Lord, if it's your will, take me on because I am ready to go, and I don't want to put my family through this any longer. And now, like I said, no one to my knowledge just spoke to me audibly, but I had this feeling that God was listening to me and that he was going to help me, and he did. I mean, it's unreal almost the way it come about, and all I can say is it was a miracle from God.
And so these 6 or 7 days that you're lying in the bed, everybody's having to wait on you, take care of you. Just nothing. You're pretty much lifeless other than
I couldn't do anything.
Couldn't do anything for yourself. Up to that point, you'd had 57 chemo treatments. Yes. 57 treatments.
Yeah, we get 3 a day.
3 a day. 57 treatments. And you told us it come to a point to where you knew it was killing you.
Yes.
That if you took another treatment, you wouldn't make it.
I sincerely believe, Anthony, if I had taken those 6 more shots on Monday and Tuesday, I wouldn't be here. Because, I mean, I was just, I don't know, I say an inch from death. I knew in my mind some way that I was dying. And that was okay. I just was wanting the Lord to take me on, and I prayed that way. But it wasn't his will at that time. Now, it'll happen sometime, but it'll be in his time frame. And I just kept, when I started getting better and could tell that I wasn't going to die, then I started praying for him to help me get back on my feet. And it was a struggle. I started off with a walker and then went to a cane, and now I'm walking without anything. And it's just amazing every day, even after I had this problem with the diabetes being so bad, with the Lord's help, I'm getting that under control, and my life is just so much better than when I was taking those treatments.
Okay, so what about medicines today? You're not taking anything for that cancer?
No, nothing. And when I went to the doctor here the 4th day of this month, they had done a lot of blood work. And so when I went to my primary care doctor, I asked him, I said, is my body making any white blood cells? And he said, yes, you are making some white blood cells. Said, as a matter of fact, said, I'm surprised at how well the blood work is turning out. And then I said, well, when I was at the point of death, they told me that my immune system was 0. I said, what is it doing now? And he said, it is almost back to normal, to a normal stage. And then I said, well, I have one more question for you. I said, my legs ache a lot. What is causing it? I didn't know if it was the leukemia or the insulin. And he said, I don't know what's causing that, but I will try to find out for you. So even today, when I got up this morning, I had no pain in my legs. Now, I don't know that that'll last, forever, but the Lord wanted me to be here today. And like I said, I'm not a speaker or anything, but I just wanted to tell you, if you have a problem of any kind, go to the Lord with it, and he will help you. He will help you.
I remember back in the summer, me and my brother went to, he said, let's go visit Mr. Cox, and he was telling me about your situation. So we went to see you, and at that time, you were still in a house coat and pajamas and weak, not eating much. You sat at the table just barely. You still hadn't fully where you are today. Mm-hmm. And then I remember the next time I come back to visit you, you're dressed like you are, and you were just talking to me normal, and everything was just fine. I'm just telling you, God is a miracle worker. And Herman is a walking, talking miracle today. He was given a death sentence, basically. Tell us about how it's hard for you to speak for your family, but now speak for Evelyn if you could, and the boys. Are you aware that? Can you hear? Are you aware that you've been given 2 or 3 days to live, or you just know you're dying?
I did not know that at the time. See, like I said, I just in like a coma stage, and I didn't hear that. My wife and sons have told me about it afterwards when I started recovering. But like I said, the Holy Spirit somehow or another was working with me, and I felt like I was dying. And I knew that I didn't want to linger on. I just say, Lord, I'm ready to go if you'll take me on. That was what I was praying in a lot. Maybe that's what I was doing when they said I'd try to talk and they couldn't understand me. But I was praying, but I did say, Lord, if it's your will, you can take me on, because I feel I'm ready to meet you. And I just praise the Lord that he was not ready, because I have got to accomplish some things since then that I should have taken care of a long time ago and hadn't. And it's just amazing that, like I said, now nobody just spoke to me in an audible voice and said, you go do this, but something would come onto my mind, you need to do this. And I know 3 major things, I'm not going to get into all of those, but that I was able to do after I started recovering. And I just feel like the Lord was leading me to do that. And there may be some other things that I've not done yet that I will be able to do before he takes me on.
So how was, I know that your sons are very supportive of your wife, and so how was this affecting, I know this had to be devastating to them.
It was devastating to them to care for me, not that they didn't want to, but both my sons work, and my wife Evelyn has a 102-year-old mother in the nursing home, and she goes every day to help her. As a matter of fact, we went there this morning before we came over here. She was very sick yesterday, and I know one thing it did. It brought my family closer together. When your kids marry and leave home, they've got their jobs and their families, and you sort of drift away a little bit. You know, you're not as close as you was when they was little and growing up. But during that time, I realized more than ever in my life, I guess, what my family meant to me. And I think that I know they was praying for me. See, I had a lot of people praying for me. My home church, we have some friends in Memphis, Tennessee, Huntsville, Alabama, Albany, Georgia, California. Evelyn had contacted, and they said, we will put him on our prayer chain at church. So, folks, when somebody asks you to pray for them, try your best to do it, because God listens. He hears your prayers, and he will answer your prayers. Now, he may not answer exactly what you ask for, because sometimes we don't really know what we need. Because, see, when I was praying for him to take me out, that wasn't his will at that time. And I'm thankful that he didn't. But at the time, I really thought that's what I needed to do. But then, when I seen I wasn't going to pass away, and I started praying, help me get back on my feet so I can do things for myself and help my family. It was this miraculous. Every day he helped me do something that I couldn't do the prior day.
Well, I want to say thank you, Herman, because we were just kids, my brother and me were elementary school, and I know that you and Evan provided a home, like almost a second home for my brother Johnny. Wayne was best friends growing up and playing sports and things, it was just like a second home, a second place to go. And so it's special to us because we get to talk to you today about this miracle and how it's impacted us and how it's impacted my brother. He was sharing with me over the phone. He was so excited because he was telling me about it. And then that's when we came to see him. And what a miracle God had done. And so today, when you go to the doctor after this, you started walking, obviously you got started improving. You went back to the doctor?
Yes.
What was his reaction? I mean,
well, the same thing. He said, I just never thought you'd be to this point again. And he said, I can't explain why, but you are improving. And I don't know if I still have the leukemia or not. I haven't been tested for it, and I don't have any plans to try to get it tested. I'm just keeping my faith in God, and He'll take care of me, and I think He'll take care of that, whatever He wants done with it.
Well, as we wrap up, what would you say to this congregation as a word of encouragement, as if you could say something to them today to encourage them if they're going through something or if they're facing a family member, what would you say to us today?
Never give up and take everything to God in prayer. And please pray for me and my family. Don't quit now, because I'm just getting started again. And God will take care of things for you. If you trust Him and ask Him, I promise you He will take care of you. Now, we can't tell Him what to do. I understand that. But we can beg Him and plead and pray, and He will answer in His way. And that is always the best way, is what the Lord provides.
Well, can we give Herman Cox a hand this morning? I'm so grateful. Yes. You have so inspired us, inspired this church, and this testimony will go out over the airwaves, and I'm sure that hundreds and hundreds of people, possibly thousands, could watch this and be affected. And so just to let people know that God is not giving up on us, and that if we will stay the course, and no matter what, just press through.
Yes.
No matter what the sentence is, no matter what the diagnosis is, because as long as we're breathing, there's hope.
Exactly.
And I share with people that I have a hard time praying for, I know there's time. Everybody has to go home. I understand that you can't live in this world forever. That we have to at some point we have to say goodbye. But I was just there's something inside of me that won't hardly let me just pray a prayer that just stops. I have to keep praying, Lord. You can raise them up off this bed even now. And I believe as long as there's breath in somebody's body, we should, and we have a right to pray that, even though we want God's will to be done. And if He is going to take that individual home or that person home, that it would be without pain, without suffering. But please don't call me if you don't want me to pray for them to get up. But I am so glad for this opportunity to interview Herman. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we close?
I just say that I appreciate you and your family, and Johnny especially. He was like a child to us, and I thank the world of him and his family, and I thank you for allowing me to tell people what God has done for me. And I just hope that if anybody has any doubts, please turn it over to God. He'll take care of it for you. So,
thank you. We're going to end the tape here